Hi everyone, Sandra here from the Schwowin's Nest. Thanks so much for joining me today. Today is the monthly Using Trash to Create Treasure Challenge hosted by Casey at Coffee with My Sunshine. Her co-host for this month is Jessica over at Measure and Mix. My first project for you today is this old coffee can that I spray painted with flat white. I'm going to make a plant hanger from this, and I have some old styrofoam that I've kept from a big TV, and I thought, what a perfect use for this. I won't have to throw the can out, I won't have to throw the styrofoam out, I'll be able to make it useful. So I'm just going to stuff the can pretty full with the styrofoam, and then I'm going to add some greens. These are some artificial greenery stems that I picked up at my local Dollarama. They were $2.50 a piece and they had a few different styles. I liked them because they were cascading. They were really nice vine kind of things. And with the stem being really thick, I was able to just bend it and then push it into the coffee can amongst the styrofoam, and it stuck there really well. I used 2 of these trailing vines, but then at the top it needed a little bit more of some filler, so I just grabbed another little smaller bush and added that as well. I needed to add something so it could hang on my front porch. Now I have this little tool that came in my screwdriver set, and I just basically punctured a hole, and this is a picture hanging set that I have. It was from an old frame that I had thrifted. So I'm just going to screw these eye hooks into either side of the can and use the wire to hang it. When you're done watching my video, I would love it if you could go over to Casey and Jessica's channels and check out their videos and subscribe and help support their channel. Also, make sure you don't forget to check out that playlist link down in the description box so you can see all of the wonderful things that everyone else has created. Lastly, I added some pieces of stone and rock to the back part of the can so it would have a little bit of weight and wouldn't tip forward too much. I really love how this guy turned out, and I think he's going to stay up all summer. My second project for you today is using some old electrical fuses. There were bags and bags of these at my cottage, and we no longer need them. We have an updated panel now. So I decided to use these with this gold base that was part of a Christmas tree from last year. I'm just using some hot glue, and I'm going to glue the fuses all the way around in a circle and then create some sort of pattern. I'm not quite sure what the pattern will be yet, but I'm sure something will come to me as I start gluing these on. Here's the pattern of the first row. I do want to add a second layer. I'm not quite sure how that's going to look yet. These are a little tricky. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to glue them on top of each other, but so far it's looking pretty neat. After spending some time playing around with it, I found a solution. I am going to be gluing them sort of like a brick lay pattern. I'm going to stagger them and I'm going to push them in just a little bit. So there's going to be 1 fuse glued on top of 2 fuses. The nice thing about working with hot glue, and especially with metal, is you can always pop it off and start over. I had enough fuses to create a third layer, so I decided to do the same thing as the second layer, meaning put 1 fuse on top of 2 fuses, which is kind of like a brick lay pattern. But I decided to push the fuses out so they would be in line with the first layer. I wanted to add a little bit more embellishment to the bottom part, which is the gold area. So I cut this piece of nautical white cotton rope, and what I'm doing here is just using my hot glue and the tip of my glue gun to glue the ends together so it doesn't fray. I've seen people use a lighter to make sure the ends don't fray, but this is cotton rope, so I'm not going to be able to do that. But if you have any other ideas that might be better than using the hot glue, I'd love to hear them. Let me know in the comments. So I'm just going to use some hot glue and glue that rope all the way around the base. The neat thing about using these fuses is that each of them has a different color on the inside. So when you look at it straight in the daylight, you can see all the colors and it looks really cool. The final project I have for you today is this shower caddy. It has definitely seen better days. I'm just trying to get some of the soap scum off of these little rubber discs, and it's very rusty all around the edges, so I'll be taking some sandpaper and trying to clean that up. Normally with this type of item, I take it outside and spray paint it, but I've run out of my white spray paint. So I just decided to open up this Tremclad rust paint in a gloss white. I'm not too keen on the gloss, but that's okay. I'm just going to use what I have, and I'll have to just use a small paintbrush to paint everything up. While the paint was drying, I decided to take these wood shims that I picked up at the Home Depot a while ago and create some little signs for the two shelves. I'm taking some of these wood shims. I bought a big pack of these at the Home Depot, and I had measured out where the round circles were on the shower caddy. That was 9 inches in length. So I'm just going to take my craft knife and cut 4 pieces of these shims into 9-inch lengths. I'm going to create just a little 2-stick palette, so I'm going to take the leftover pieces of wood that I trimmed off and make 2 little pieces for either side. I'm going to take the long pieces and glue them on top of the short pieces. Then when I flip it over, you won't be able to tell that these shims are thicker on one end and thinner on the other. I'm going to write the word bloom and grow on both of these signs, and I'm using my favorite paint pen, which is an oil-based Craft Smart paint pen, and they are available at Michael's. I'll also see if I can find them on Amazon and put a link in my description box. This one wasn't working properly, so as you can see, I just pushed the paint tip down on the paper and a big glob of paint came out. That means something was kind of stuck and was preventing the paint from coming down the little nozzle or the little brush or whatever you want to call it. Anyhow, sometimes you just have to be patient with these pens and they will work. Even though they feel empty, there's usually still a lot of paint left in the tube. If I haven't told you lately, for my subscribers and viewers, I really appreciate your support. My channel is really starting to grow, and it's because of you that I'm having such great success. Thank you so very much. I'd also like to thank all of you who leave comments on my videos. I really love interacting with you and getting to know my viewers. Some of you really comment on my freehand lettering and you say that yours isn't that good. Well, let me tell you, about a year ago, mine wasn't that great either. If you look back on some of my videos where I did some lettering, they're so-so. So it just takes a little bit of practice and some time, and you will get better as well. Watch some YouTube videos. There's tons of creators who do different styles and different ways. Check out all the Pinterest fonts, and you can even print them off on your computer and just practice tracing them, and you'll really get a great idea of how to create these letters. Since I'll be hanging this outside, I needed to use something that would keep the wood in place. I didn't think that glue would work because the bottom underneath where the circles are is flexible plastic, and I just didn't think that any glue would hold it in place. So I'm using some twine, and I'm just going to wrap it around a couple times in front of the little short piece of wood and then tie it off at the back. Okay, getting back to my project. I have 6 short mason jars, and I've got some Dollar Tree sand that I'm just going to put at the bottom of them. Today I went to my Dollarama store. Yes, I did. It's right around the corner from my grocery store. So I jumped in there and I found these succulents. Now, I love all the succulent displays that people are making, but I'm not too keen on some of them that look, the ones that have different colors in them, I don't really like. I found 3 of them that are just green, but then different shapes. So what I'm going to do is just put 1 succulent in each of these jars, and then I have these other purple flowers that I'm going to put in the other 3 jars. And here's how it looks. I'd like to thank Casey and Jessica for hosting the challenge this month. Don't forget to check out their channels in the description box, plus the playlist link, which is also down there. If you like this video, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button and the bell to get notified when I upload new content. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one.